Life After Death or Home with God, chapter 33 and 34, respectively. Text: I am you, simply causing you to remember me. Robert Heinlein put that in a book 45 years ago, another of my messages. So I too have come back to life. Well, let me ask you this. Have you had occasion when it looked as if you had bowed to the farm? Sure have. I think I know the kind of thing you are talking about now. And I know I've had instances like that. Of course you have. Would you like me to describe them to you? No, I know which ones you are talking about. There's one you may not know of. There's one you may not remember. It was in the moments after your birth. You were premature. You weighed just over 4 pounds. It was not expected that you would live. Me too. I was about 7 months. Seven, as you said. Yeah. I'm supposed to be born in November, but I was born in September. Maybe I was supposed to be Scorpio. I became Virgo. Yeah. And then my mother said that I have all veins. One could see veins on my skin and body. So tiny. But I did. The second time, yes. I beg your pardon? The second time you leave it. The first time you did not. Oh boy, you are off the map here again. Folks, we are off the map. After you died the first time, you indicated that you did not feel complete with what you moved into physicality to experience. And what was that? Giving to others. You wanted to experience giving to others. You wanted to experience loving. You did your best by dying, but in the end, you felt it was not enough. You wanted to experience more. Wait a minute, I died at birth to give to others. Yeah, to return and then be at service to others, like the job you are doing right now. It's giving to others, bring others to themselves, to explain more about life and death. You completely served your mother's agenda and your father's. In that moment, you gave the only thing you had to give, life itself, to completely serve your parents' agendas. What were their agenda? They will reveal that to you themselves when the time comes. And it will come. I can tell you about your own agenda, however, at the end time. Your agenda in this lifetime is to experience how to love selflessly, completely. You did that in the first moment of your life. You gave your life for another. But as I said, your experience of giving did not feel complete to you. You wanted to give more. You wanted to keep on giving, so you jumped the realities. I guess that we don't choose nothing. I think still this being choose for us, you see. And then this sense of give selflessly, although it's good, it's what it will be better for us to do here is a thing that should be better for us to do. Not everybody is keen on that. And when you do this to people, the more they'll take advantage of you. Not that you should do things conditionally because you want something in return, but at least don't return good to evil. That's not good. That's stupid. And you need um, to be taught a lesson when you do that. You return good Grateful, good, even gratefulness. People do something for you and they were so ungrateful toward that person. And at the end, what you do is harm that person. You are being a devil. You shouldn't be this way. So what I'm saying here is that this is being they create a script for us to act up here based on what they want to be, us to be. So there's this duality. They do this because they show some people to be the fool of the court, so that are the devils who will tempt you, and then you have to bend it down your not just your guard but your head and allow them to do to you as they please. You should not react, they will say, lest you go against your nature and what we decided for you, but we say that you decided for yourself. Actually, you didn't decide. They over there decided for us. This is what I think. Understand? They cannot fool me. It's all script, all nonsense script, injustice. For me, everybody's supposed to be good and do good things for others without the evil. Because if somebody do evil to others, they deserve punishment. This is what I think. And I'm not going back on my words of what I think. Because devil want you to be good so that they will do as they please to you. They will run you rhymes around your neck. So he say you wanted to give him more, you wanted to keep on giving, so you jump at the realities. I'm sorry. Remember when we talked about earlier about the possibility of alternate realities when you die and then go back, reincarnate. What you do is actually, in actuality, is simply move your conscious awareness to an alternate reality. In that reality, you experience the moment of your death over again. But this time, you don't die, you live. In some cases, what that looks like is a near miss. In other cases, it might be a surprising recovery or sudden remission. It's like being inserted in the timeline in the moments or weeks before you die, and then throwing a switch that diverts the train, sending it off onto another track. Yeah, they do this. Aliens do that with their will. They play for the bad shit. If it they want you to go and not come back, you not come back anymore. Otherwise, you come back. Your body is how is all mended. You still have to come back. Remember when you talked about earlier about the possibility of alternate realities when you die and then go back, mean near death experiences. What you do is actually in actuality is simply move your conscious awareness to an alternate reality. In that reality, you experience the moment of your death over again, but this time you don't die, you live. In some cases, what that looks like is a near miss. It's not the total death, it's near miss. You are not dead yet. All your awareness moves on to another realms. It's just like out of the body experiences, not die, but out of the body experience. We do that almost every day. In other cases, it might be a surprising recovery or sudden remission. It's like being inserted in the timeline in the moments or weeks before you die, and then throwing a switch that diverts the train, sending it off onto another track. This is what you did the other times too, the times you know about, the times you recall. In each of those moments you remember them? You thought you were a goner. I did for sure. And you were right. You were a goner. I mean, you left. You were gone. I was dead every time. This is really bad in my mind. I've been dead as a doornail. And yet here I am right here, right now. What do you think cats are the only ones who have 9 lives? Yes, you were what you call dead all of those other times. You went through all these stages. By that point in your life, you'd heard about hell. So you went ahead and created your own hell. And I went through that experience. Then you came to a place of remembering. You remembered the hell does not exist. Then you created something else, something much more pleasant, but you were not satisfied. Then you meet me in a moment of total immersion. Then you had your life review, and then I made the whole inquiry, and you decided to go back. You didn't feel complete, you said. So you see, when people die, they go to another side. So you create your mind. It depends on your fears or your knowledge and awareness. See, you create your own hell and you create your own heaven. Or based on other variants as well. I cannot say for sure. You understand? There's many variants why people go through bad experiences after death. It can be a nightmare or it can be a dream. But don't worry because you're gonna wake up from it nevertheless, and yours can die second death the other side. So it's not permanent as many religions tells you. Okay? Don't live on a fear basis kind of life. Nothing's permanent. Now I understand a lot better. A note someone sent me a few months ago. Wow, now this truly makes sense completely. Read this. Dear Neil, for whatever it may be worth, I would like to tell you a little story about what happened to me just before Christmas. I had been on a work assignment and was reluctantly separated from my husband for 6 weeks prior to Christmas. I had a week in the middle of this assignment to drive the 5 hours from Grand Junction to Loveland, CO, and I'd be home for Christmas. On December 22 at 11 p.m., I began my trip, hoping to avoid upcoming bad weather the following day. It was a starry night up. It was starry night up until I got through the AC Howard tunnel at Loveland Pass. I exited the tunnel and found myself in a blizzard of snow. And later, a real whiteout. It was pretty hairy driving. And I asked God to keep me safe. When I hit Denver, the driving got better. Heading north on 125, the road became quite dry with just some snow flurries. I was traveling about 50 mph on a straight stretch of the road when suddenly I hit a nice patch and my car spun out sideways. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I hit the left guardrail straight on and I felt sudden intense pain in the lower portion of my face. I didn't know how badly I was hurt and got pretty panicked when in the distance I could see the headlights of oncoming truck. My car engine had cut out and I stopped in the middle of the interstate. I knew I would be hit before the driver could see me and stop on that icy road. I was not thinking clearly enough to get out of the car, and all I could think to do was to try to turn on my flashes. I was groping about but could not find the button to turn them on. What a bad luck, and all this is already orchestrated by beings, you know. This kind of things orchestrated by experience. Then a miracle happened. My car started to slide backward for no reason. It slid onto the right shoulder and touched the right side guardrail. Guardrail. where it stopped just as the truck whizzed by. The rest of the story is not relevant here, very briefly told. I was able to start the car and drive another 50 miles to my home. I saw my dentist later that day and he found no fractures, and my loosened teeth will probably tighten up in a couple more months. There was no great damage to me, and I consider myself truly blessed to have had this experience. Really wise on that mere shave, close shave. Some people think I was unfortunate, some think I was just plain lucky, but I know better, and a few others know too. With love in the cross. Well, this thing happened. So near misses are really reruns with a new outcome. What an idea. Second chance, a chance to finish up, to come to completion, to do what you came here to do. Yes. And I've been dead 3 times before, 4 times. Don't forget your betting debt. And even when I was an adult, I came back after all that living. You said you had a lot you wanted to do, a lot you still wanted to experience. You said you wanted to do better by your children. You say you wanted to experience love in the human who loved you, instead humanizer. So, even when I was an adult, I came back after all that living. You said you had a lot you wanted to do, a lot you still wanted to experience. You said you wanted to do better by your children. You said you wanted to experience love in the human who loved you instead of mistreating them. Most of all, you said you wanted to change the world's idea about God and about life. What does that last part have to do about remembering how to love? You said you realize that once the world remembers who and what God is and how life really functions, it would be nothing for people to remember how to love, and that everybody would love everybody without condition. After you remembered what was on the other side, after you spent some time in the afterlife, after you realized that the hell was a figment of your imagination, and that everything was, and mostly after you met me, you say you wanted to help the world understand some things. But first, you said you needed to understand some things experientially. Really, but he don't remember how he's supposed to accept this as a truth if we don't remember that. And the part that he said his father said in the book, I don't think so. These aliens are full of, BS and something up their sleeve. And they kind of, but if you are into religion, that you believe all this stuff said here. Okay, if you're fanatic and you don't think outside the book, then you take it as a gospel. However, if you want to think differently and go deep to the rabbit hole, you will understand that no, 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 it cannot be. The book was given to him by aliens. It was not his parents, because if his parents really could have a say or something, they will come to him directly and say it. Okay, and not have an intermediary or something else. You know why the secret of the dead? Why deads cannot talk to all of you in a some time only to some people? Why? What's the mystery? Because there's something there behind all this, impeded them, stop them from doing that. Oh, because they don't exist in the first place. Okay, once they die, finish, they change completely their 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 character, their personality, their identity is gone, destroyed. Like what? You became homeless at F49 in the middle of your life. You created more life partners and left to them, just as you did the earlier ones. Through these devices, you feared more about betrayal, about your own ability to betray others, about how it feels when others betray you. You learned a little about love. You learned a lot about abandonment. Abandonment by life itself. You were out there on the streets, living outside a tent for a home for almost a year. Of course, no parents don't prepare life. No parents, then you're gonna suffer like hell, even if you are old already. See, no parents. How precious our good parents are. Once you lost them, it's like you lost part of your life. You learned what it was like being broke. So broke that $1 looked like a lot of money to you. And $2 was a fortune. One day you gave away money you didn't think you could afford to give away. Your heart went out to somebody and you just gave them the little change you had. On that day, you learned about true generosity. You also learned that there was more where they came from. And this is a big remembering. You discovered again the universe's endless supply. Very soon you were rich, rich beyond your wildest dreams. And you began changing the world's mind about God and about life and about each other. Now you have a better relationship with your children. Of course, he got money, then he got children. No money, no children. Now you are even learning the hard ways, still hurting others, but at least learning the beginnings of a new way to love. Now you write books and sell millions of them. Now you travel the world talking to thousands of people. Now you are on radio and TV and even in the movies. You think that this has all happened by chance? You think this has all happened by chance? I I I tell you, you soon saw of this. And of course, you've learned nothing. The term learned is just a figure of speech. I use it because you use it. I talk like you do. I use the vernacular that you use. We both know that you have learned nothing. You have merely remembered. You remembered about abandonment. Abandonment by who? By life, because his parents was not there. How his parents would abandon him when they were dead? Dead. You remembered about generosity. You are trying hard to remember about love. You have brought back to your conscious mind and imaginings you can remember about the twists you have always known regarding God, regarding life, and regarding others. Where do you think all of this is coming from? Where do you think all of what's coming from? All that you are writing right here. I guess I thought it once come from you. I thought it once come from God. It is come from me. It is come from God. But do you think I'm something separate from you, tell you something new? Listen to me. I'm you, simply causing you to remember me. Your conversations with God have created a space, open the door, allow you to remember that you have always known, allowing you to remember what you have always known. Now, the final question is not whether you will continue to remember, but whether you will continue to act as if you do not. Ouch. Well, this is the question, is it? Chapter 34. To truly understand the ultimate reality, you have to be out of your mind. I can't believe what we are talking about here, and I can't believe how public this is. Do I have to put this all in the book? You said, I did not say, you said that you were pledged to make this a full and complete and accurate transcript of our conversation, with nothing left out. I was the one who said that you might be tempted to edit it. You were the one who said, no way, it's not going to happen. So now you are remembering something else. Now you are remembering about keeping your word, doing what you say, being counted on. Is this who you are? It's your choice. It is always your choice. Wow, you make it tough. Look, you can stop right here. End the book. It's been an interesting book. Don't go any further. You are, you've said enough. Probably more than enough for some. Maybe even too much. Just close the computer down and let it go. No, we are right at breakthrough here. This is breakthrough, and not just for me. This is breakthrough for everyone's reading this, even for those who don't know that it is breakthrough and it is. It can sense it. So where do you want to go? I want to see how manipulative these beings are. These beings who play God. I want to explore. So where do you want to go? I want to explore that last exchange a little more deeply. Then I think we can bring our conversation to a conclusion. I have one more thing to tell you, one more major revelation. Then we can conclude. Adieu. So let me see if I understand our last exchange. You are saying that every soul, after the moment of death, is given an opportunity to reverse the process of death itself. I've got that. It's a stunning thought, and I get it. It's something you would do. It makes perfect sense, given how much you love us. Oh, yeah, right. Love so much when you are in the hellhole. Adieu. So let me see if I understand the last exchange. You are saying that every soul, at the moment of death, is given opportunity to reverse the process of death itself. I've got that. It's a stunning thought, and I get it. Something good to do. It makes perfect sense given how much you love us. It's nothing but their duty to say that, given what they have done to the species. I'm glad that you can see that. Trust in the love of God will serve you all the days of your life and on the day of your death as well. I do love you. I love you all dearly. No, you don't. You love yourself through us because if you did love, we would not be in this predicament, most of us. Nothing even to eat, only devils there to destroy our life, pretend to help us. Okay? Diseases for some, etc. And I don't believe in disease, I believe in health. And they don't want the help of disease, then use from health. So just tell me, how does this all happen? And if we really do come back, how does that occur? Not everyone dies in such a convenient way that they can just be brought back to life easily. I mean, some people die on the battlefield in an accident and they are lie in pieces. Exactly how they come back makes no sense. Excuse me for being so graphic, but they are. Not everyone dies comfortably in bed, still yeah, intact, right? With some poison, euthanasia, and anesthesia. Nobody dies because they ain't in the coma because they go through anesthesia, right? Like my sisters, my brother, my mother went happened to them. Uh, I mean, what they went through, and then uh, but still their organs was infected and they died just like that by hospital and by euthanasia through anesthesia. Nobody dies like this. So unless you're on the battlefield, riddled with gunshot wounds all over, someone hack you with an X, stab you many times, multiple times, a knife, shoot you a lot of, you know, poison you, that burns all your organs and melt it away, then you still can come back. Otherwise, you just can't. Let's go back just a tiny bit. So, not everyone dies comfortably in bed so they can just wake up and the doctor can say it's a miracle. Let's go back just a tiny bit. After you die, you move through the first two stages of death, two stages. Just as I have described it, you realize first that you are not your body. Then you experience whatever you next expect to experience, based on what you believe, with your mind, of course. You may have that experience as long as you wish, as long as it pleases you. Then you move into the third stage of death, or new experiences. That's when you are captured, and then you are taken to the center where you are evaluated. Sometimes your mind is erased by laser. You are sent to purgatory, hell, or whatever. You wait your time, or you move on, depend on your history. You are moved on to other spheres of planets or realms, whatever. Or you come back to the body again, to another body, of course, another body, to live another nonsense script, or script. So, then you move into the third stage of death. This is the final stage when you experience total immersion, if that's in she, when you go to the light, the fake light there, and you get captured inside the spider web. So the emerge from that experience to move through a review of the physical life you have just concluded, and then decide whether to go on or go back, as you put it. So here they say theory, see, this is the final stage when you experience total immersion of death and she, the third stage of death. Emerge from that experience here to move through a review of the physical life. You have just concluded and then decide whether to go on or go back, as you put it. So it's not we who are going to decide, it's them who are going to decide, I tell you. It's them who are going to decide for you whether you are ready to move on to other planes of life, or you going back because you're not complete. Usually who is old enough, who have suffered a lot here, is complete. Others who still have other things to do, who die in complete state of amnesia or stupidity, will come back. Okay? If you come back, if you die stupid, you still have to come back because you have to still have go through a lot of experience to evolve, as they said. As you evolve, you are complete, then you may appeal to go on and carry on with your spiritual life on the other side. You got it? So I make this decision based on what I've seen in my life review. So yeah, they make a life review. A computer is it's just like I think like a computer is given you to see a screen show all your life from the first breath into the physical body until your last breath here. Everything that you did, only so the bad ones will be weighed, okay? So as to put it against you so that you will either go to a bad place or you become a ghost or you're going to return surveillance once more. So I make this decision based on what I've seen in my life review, based on what you all see, what they see. Then you're going to make a decision, not us. Essentially, yes, based on what you've seen, what they saw about us, what they know about us, and whether there is anything that you still wish to know and to experience as a soul, carrying the particular identity that you thought of as you. In other words, based on whether you feel complete or not. But I thought, I really have been listening to you very closely here, and I thought that you said earlier that no one dies ever feeling incomplete. Exactly. You said very directly that no one dies having failed to experience all that they come to the physical world to experience. At this moment, I think the devil starts to form behind the fuming of the anger. There's no such thing as being incomplete. And you say this is what's meant by the 11th remembrance. See, the timing, the circumstances of death are always perfect. Exactly. So you see how inconstant the Sanunekis are, so inconsistent. Everything that one said, it, uh, everything that one say is what is so. Yet, now we say that after a person dies, they may feel incomplete with something or another, and there's so many return to life, so to speak, and they live the moment of their death in a new way that that what that eliminates the fact that they died exactly, which means that they didn't die, which means that the timing and the circumstances of death are always perfect, which means that no one dies having failed to experience all that they came to the physical world to experience it. Yes, but they did die and found that they were incomplete. And so they went back. But this proves that they can die being incomplete. Exactly. And there are testimonies of people who have had a near death experience. And they come back to say that they were told that they were told, and not that they knew that they were incomplete, but that they were told that they are incomplete, and as such had to return to physicality once more time with the same body or a different body. Okay? You can see a lot of testimonies where people say that they were told to return back again, that they were not complete yet, told by aliens. That eliminates the fact that they died. Exactly, which means that they didn't die, which means that the time and circumstances of death are always perfect, which means that no one dies having failed to experience all that they come to the physical world to experience. Yes, but they did die and found that they were incomplete, and so they went back. But this proves that they can die being incomplete. I see how you would think that. So I will give you now one more piece of information. The process of what you call death is not complete until the soul passes over to the other side. Oh my gosh. Is on the other side of the upper range, is in the spiritual realm that the soul does the joyful work of establishing its identity and recreating it anew. You are full of BS because why if they die because they pass the another side, the bridge, the river, the tunnel, whatever. So why is that? There's a lot of ghosts around here, imprisoned inside the room, inside the cave or whatever, or in the garden. Why? Why? If they pass the another side, why they are still here? For why? What's the explanation? So they didn't die yet. They're still here around and they didn't die, but they're in the fourth dimension nevertheless. That's what they try to say. And so no one dies to the old until they cross over this threshold, cross over the bridge, cross over the river, cross over the tunnel. To put this another way, your death is not final until you say it's final. I don't believe. If you indicate at the moment of the whole inquiry that you do not feel complete and wish to return to the physical life from which you have just emerged, you may do so, and you will do so instantly, but through reincarnation, not the same body. It's lie. But in a near-death experience, yes, because you are not yet fully dead yet. So you can come back. You have a chance to come back. And if you have fought to return, you fought to return to life. Okay, but once you have the big death, You either stay around here or you pass the threshold. If you pass the threshold, the bridge, the river, or the tunnel, then you go all right. You go for good. Okay? Then what happens there? Gonna be many variants, many things will happen. There many dramas even. Yes, but you do this. You said by jumping realities. You say the soul jumped to an alternate reality. In that case, the soul and this reality did die incomplete. You are going to think this to that. Do you know that? Interesting turn of phrase. Yeah. Why you get angry with him? He has a right to inquire what. It's good that he's not this kind of complacent people who accepts things at the facial value alone. They are too lazy to think, the lazy ones who don't think, but too complacent and complies to everything is given to them, the slaves, the herds. Only have big mouths to the others, like them. But those who are in power, they're too scared, chicken out. Interesting turn of a phrase. Be careful not to think too much. Remember to truly understand the ultimate reality. You have to be out of your mind. There you are. You have to be out of your mind. But let's not dance away from your inquiry. No, let's not. You asked me once if the soul could be in two places at once. They can. They are omnipresent. They have a feet here in this plane and a feet in another plane. Yes, I did. And you said it could be in a great many more than two places at once. So omnipresent. Good. You remembered that. So now follow me here. If the soul feels incomplete and jumps to an alternate reality or the fourth dimension which does not die, mean that soul does not die fully incomplete. Agreed? Agreed. But the soul remain in the other reality. Wait a minute, I'm getting there. The soul is staying behind, so to speak, in the first reality is not obvious to what has happened. It knows that part of itself has been allowed to jump into an alternate reality and complete what it wishes to complete. It also knows that there is no such thing as time. So it knows that the other part of itself has already completed what it went back to complete. So the soul in the only moment there is, the moment of now, moves into a spiritual realm feeling actually complete. Wow, we can talk your way out of anything. You could say that. But I want to suggest to you that not much is being served but this splitting of metaphysical hair, hairs. I think you might derive more benefit from focusing on the larger principles and the main message of this dialogue. Many people on earth get caught up in the minutiae. They want to have everything explained down to the last detail. You can turn embroidery over and look at the cross-weaving of threads that produces it meticulously, tracing each colored yarn until you have figured all the ins and outs, but you'll never enjoy the picture they create. Look at things another way. Change your I've got to have all the answers perspective. Give yourself a chance to see the whole picture. You'll love it. And that's all for chapter 34 and for now. And what I wanted to say is that, well, at least this man here, he likes to find the truth. And he don't just take things at face value alone. He just don't want to to swim in the water and not know what's there. Okay, swim into the dark water without know what's there. He want to know first before he jumps what's in there, and he's right. And how deep is that, right? So I like the fact that people don't fall prey to one embroidery of how can I say it, of cosmic mafia or corruption, and then just enjoy the moment. What's that to enjoy? You enjoy now, but you pay tomorrow. You pay double fold tomorrow. So for what you're gonna illude yourself to think that you have to enjoy the moment and not ask questions, not inquire. Whoever does not inquire is dead because you have lost your consistency. You are dead. Understand? If you are alive, you are here to inquire. It's your cosmic given rights to to ask questions, to inquire, not just follow blindly and obey blindly. In this sense, these aliens should not judge or question the politics, even because we make them a mockery, will render them a hypocrite.